Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a list of books that I started back in January, and it was like the 20 books that I must read this year in 2019. I'm going to share 10 of them with you right now, and then maybe a little bit later in the year we'll go over the other 10. Technically some of them are series, so it's more than 10, but anyway. These books are not like most anticipated books of the year, new releases, things like that. These are books that have been on my TBR for like 6 months or more, and this, like I said before, January, so I guess now that it's almost 6 months out, so like a year or more, and I just haven't gotten to them yet. So these are the top 10 books that I must read in 2019 because they've just been on my TBR so long, and I really do want to get to them. It's just that I want to read so many books that it's just like, oh, I'm like a squirrel when I go to the library, or no, I guess I wouldn't be like a squirrel. I'd be like the dog. It's like squirrel. When I go to the like the bookstore or the library, especially, I will go to the library to pick a book that's on hold for me, and then come home with like 5. So this is my issue. And so books that I really wanted to read or that are sitting on my shelf are, kind of pushed to the back burner. So this is my attempt to make myself read these books that I really do want to read, and you guys can help keep me, accountable to that. I do want to jump in and tell you, I have had a lot of requests for makeup and beauty videos. I actually filmed a makeup tutorial last week. The footage was so bad that I deleted it. Like, it was embarrassing. I was like, I cannot put this on the internet. Also, you like my shadows I'm getting from my hair? Well, alright, anyway, shut up. Let's get going on the books. So, the first book is this one. It is Night Film by Marisha Passel. I don't know a lot about it other than I think it's following the daughter of someone who used to do like old school B horror movies or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but I actually found this at an Ollie's for like $2.99. I couldn't pass it up, but I didn't realize there's actually like photographs and things in it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Hopefully, maybe I would say like October-ish, but I kind of want to read this like soon. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So there you go. Number 1 would be Night Film. Number 2 is one I've actually read. So Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I hope my mouth is even with my words because my camera just jumped. Don't be messing with me, camera. Okay, anyway, so Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology, and I did read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom before I got to the original trilogy, which was also on my top 10 list. I counted it as one even though it was 3 books, but I have read all 3 of them, and I love this world, this series so much, and I actually have read King of Scars already. So this one follows the Grisha mostly, which are people who handle the small science, so they don't really consider themselves like doing magic. In fact, magic is frowned upon. They say that they are handling like the small science, so they can control elements and metals and things like that, just depending on what they are. And there's like a whole political system in here. I highly recommend these books. I love them so much. I actually got my Ryan there to read all 3 of them. So I had read Six of Crows last year. I got to Crooked Kingdom this year, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. So this is in the same world, but it's in a different group of people. It's like in a different part of the world. So if you see like the first 3 books kind of are around, where are they around? Like right around here, I think, or Ravka. No, around here, Ravka. And then this little island here, Kerch, is where Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows. And like I said, this is one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm super glad that I finally read that this year. All right, so the next book I really want to get to this year is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is a one I got off Book Outlet. So that's why there's all these weird stickers and stuff. Arch Enemies is the second book in this series, and I don't know if it's a duology and it's done now with Arch Enemies or not, but I absolutely want to read this. It just sounds so up my alley. It's kind of like more superhero X-Men type thing than like a magic system, but this just sounds like right up my alley where there's like two different factions and all this stuff. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm not sure what has kept me from reading it other than the fact maybe because it's so large, but one of my reading goals for this year was to read bigger books. So this can totally be one of those, and yeah, I want to get to this one pretty soon, actually. I'm really looking forward to this. Another one I don't know a super lot about. I think it's kind of, I heard it was a retelling of Arabian Nights or Thousand Arabian Nights or something. Looks really cool. The Wrath and the Dawn, I got this at a used bookstore. I haven't bought the second one yet because I haven't read the first one, and I just want to be sure before I get the second one. You know what I mean? But this is definitely on my list because it's been on my shelf at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's been on my shelf a while. And it's not, like I said, it's not something that I'm not interested in. It's just something that has just been sitting there. It's like I own it, so I can read it whenever I want. But I have all these library books to read, so whatever. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. And I believe what happens is there's a king or prince or something, and every night he goes to bed with a different wife, and she's dead in the morning, so he gets another wife the next day. So, and the main character, her best friend, is one of his wives that dies, and so everybody thinks that he kills them at night, but turns out there's something else going on. And I really need to get to this. It just sounds interesting, and I really want to get to it. Let's mention a book I don't have, so I can just put it up here. I'll Give You the Sun by J.D. Nelson. I know absolutely nothing about this. I just know that Claire reads books here on YouTube. I'm going to try to remember to link her down below. She loves this. It's one of her favorite books of all time, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, so I would like to read it as well. Once again, I know nothing about it, but gonna read it this year. What's another one I have? Okay, right here. The Wrath and the Dawn. I just talked about that. Children of Time by Adrian Shankowski. Something like that. Yeah. This was recommended to me and Ryan by our local bookseller, and we bought it there at page 158 books. And I've heard nothing but good things. Books by Emily Fox, who I follow. She's one of my first booktubers that I followed, and just love her recommendations. If you hear something weird, my dog is here scratching himself in the ear. Okay, anyway, so this is one where humanity knows that Earth is dying. This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm thinking. So they send some things to a faraway planet to see if things can live there or how things would live there or whatever, and those things start to take over that planet. So that is not a very good synopsis, I guess, but I've heard nothing but good things about this, and a second one just came out. So I really got to get to this one, and it's science fiction, which I love science fiction. I get on sci-fi kicks where it's like nothing but sci-fi for a while, and then I'll have to do my, like, I call it my palette cleanse, where I have like a little shelf like here, down here, that has just a whole bunch of like contemporary YA stuff, and that's what I use as like my palette cleanse. Like when I've had too much fantasy or too much sci-fi and I need to take a break, I will grab one of those and go for it. But yeah, totally looking forward to this. Can't believe I haven't read it already, to be honest. Probably because, once again, the size of these are not that long. I mean, this one's almost 600 pages. So yeah, okay, so it is exactly 600 pages, but still, I could read that and not even wait. The next one that I do not have, I really don't know anything about this either. I think it's a memoir, but it's called Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. For one, for years, I wanted to read this. I was drawn to it because the cover. Come on. It looks like a deranged raccoon. And who doesn't like deranged raccoons? So just the whole premise of this book, but just the cover, the blurb, everything just looks like I'm really going to enjoy this book. And I see it all the time, and I never pick it up. So this year, I'm going to read it. And I believe it's nonfiction, so also help me out with my nonfiction read. So one of my goals this year, same as last year, was to read at least 12 nonfiction books during the year. Because back in the day, I used to read a lot of nonfiction, but since I have really gone on these huge fantasy kicks and all of this stuff the past couple years, the nonfiction has kind of hit the back burner. But a lot of the nonfiction that I have read has been really quality stuff. So yeah, I really am looking forward to reading that one. It looks like it'll be a good time. And nonfictions usually aren't that very long, so, well, unless they're like biographies or something. But anyway, yeah. The next one I want to talk about is this one. This is Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. The reason is last year I read Den of Thieves by Mary Pearson, which is kind of takes place in the world that this takes place in, from what I understand. And I loved that book so much, and I cannot wait for the second book to come out this year. That's going to be like total like must read as well. It's a very anticipated book for me. But I want to go back. So kind of like what I did with Six of Crows, I read the duology first, and then I went back and read the trilogy. I feel like this what's going to happen here. I actually own the whole trilogy. I bought the whole trilogy, but I'm going to give myself a break and just at least get myself to book one. The first little part of it seems interesting. I feel like I'm going to have to be in the mood for this because I hear that it's kind of romance heavy, which is not really my genre at all, but I can, I'm sure there's some political stuff in there, so that'll, and it's also, it's not that long, and it's kind of bigger font, so I think I can handle it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Let me see what I got here. All right, so the last book is also one I have here. That is Alice by Christina Henry. The second book of this just came out, I think, last year, or maybe early this year, I don't know. But this is not really a retelling of Alice. It's just like inspired by Alice, but there's a lot going on. Ryan started reading this, and he took a little break because he was like, wow, it's heavy, but like I can handle a little bit more psychological stuff than I think he can. But yeah, so it's like in the hospital, there's a woman, her hair, once blonde, tangles down her neck. She doesn't remember why she's in such a terrible place, just a tea party long ago, and long ears and blood. That's what's on the back. So this looks like something I'm really going to enjoy, and I'm absolutely going to read that this year. So I believe, I'm looking at my list here, that is the 10 books that I must read this year. This is total, like, putting it out there. I want you guys to keep me, what's the word I'm looking for? Accountable to this. And if you notice in my TBRs that these TBRs, well, my TBRs or my wrap-ups, that these books aren't showing up, you call me out. And yeah, that's all for this video. I will see you guys very soon with a new one. And thanks so much for watching. Subscribe and click the little bell. And I'll see you very soon. Have a great day, gorgeous.